Okay, but then, yes, we are. But what is your, China is becoming now the most powerful economy within a few years. So what is, and you have
They are
Chinese
studying
ancestors.
this.
So they're studying this. You are involved in influencing them and others, and we are all trying to get this movement.
I'm not sure it's possible to influence the Chinese, but
we're all trying to influence. We're all trying to get this on the agenda, and that's why we have opened up websites, promote your material worldwide, give you the opportunity to do wherever you want your lectures, for business people, for decision makers, for NGOs, and so on. While the conservation movement is still focusing, and they're right, on this hotspots of biodiversity to get them protected worldwide. We have international agreements on it. That's point
very
one,
important.
very important issue. So we are working to make this transition phase of consciousness possible.
Yes.
That's what we are saying.
I think so.
But still, it's not going fast enough.
Well, I think what I've seen in nature is that there's function and dysfunction. And often we're fascinated by dysfunction, and we just keep focusing on the dysfunction.
What do you mean with dysfunction? You mean like the red list of IUCN? Is that the
well? I'm talking about like sediment flows in rivers or runoff, and we measure this, and biodiversity loss is another metric. You know, and so you're measuring. And you go back and you measure it and you say, oh, this year it's worse than it was last year, and it's again. So let's take sediment loads. So if you measure sediment loads in rivers, that is an indicator that upstream the vegetative cover has been lost. So if you just come back and measure it next year, I can promise you that the number will be worse.
That's the role of a scientist. So, I mean, the scientists will measure it and they'll say it's increasing. So there's something wrong, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, the role of the society and the role of the scientist, I think, the role of the analyst, is to look at that data and say, oh, there's something which is wrong. We have to go upstream and replace the vegetation because this is an indicator of dysfunction. Once we address the fundamental problem, we will never see the dysfunction again. That number will disappear. And so what we've done now is we become fascinated with dysfunction. We discuss all the reasons why things won't work. And instead of realizing, okay, we're going to have to roll up our sleeves and we're going to have to physically do this, we can grow soils. We can increase vegetation.
We can now we can even replant trees on badlands worldwide without irrigation.